welcome to another Red Dice Diaries video, and this is a video response to Jessica Pink's YouTube video about using newspapers from your local area as an inspiration for RPG stories. Now, I think this is a great idea, and I often flick through news websites myself. However, I've never really looked at the local news as a source of inspiration, since I live in a fairly small, fairly quiet, I thought, town. I didn't really consider that there'd actually be much in the way of inspiration in my local newspapers. I normally look for the nationals, etc., stuff like that, and the wider news affecting the world and the United Kingdom where I live. However, Jessica does raise an interesting point that you can find inspiration in the most unlikely of places. So what I'm doing in this video, I've just got up in a little window off to the side. I've got up the website of my local newspaper, the Burton Mail. I'm just going to have a quick flick through the most prominent news stories and see what, if I was looking for plot, I could do with them. The first story is about a woman who has been praised by a judge for her efforts to save a hit and run victim and how the incident has affected her. Now, although I wouldn't use this as it is, since I don't tend to run that many modern day games, I think the fact that people can be affected quite severely and sort of hauntingly by traumatic incidents is certainly worth bearing in mind, and it's certainly a very emotive story concept, and there's definitely something I could do with that. Further down we have another 4 stories on the front of the website. The first one is about trees in an orchard being planted as a lasting legacy to soldiers who lost their lives in the First World War. Now, there's numerous things that could be done with this. After all you've got to do with any sort of story like this is file off the details and add in some details that are more appropriate to your game. So I could easily see, if I was running a D&D setting, for instance, and there's some sort of war or major conflict in the background of the campaign world, that controversy could arise at the opening of a memorial to those people who lost their lives in that fantasy conflict. The other story is that a drunken teenager out celebrating his birthday has been arrested for viciously assaulting someone. Now, we all know how much trouble adventurers tend to get into when they rumble into a tavern at the end of a long dungeon crawl. However, how often are the consequences of this drunken revelry actually addressed in a game? Certainly in games I've played, not that often. But this story's made me think that, well, perhaps waking up inside some cells after a drunken night out where they can barely remember it might be an interesting story for a group of particularly rowdy player characters. There's also another couple of stories. One is talking about changes in the fire service and how it's going to work, amalgamating them with other fire services around the country. Now, although there doesn't tend to be a strict emergency service, certainly not in most fantasy sort of D&D-esque games, I can easily see that a large city, which normally has some form of guard, there could be an attempt to amalgamate them with numerous guilds, almost privatizing out the city guard, if you will. And this could create all manner of concepts. Perhaps other guilds see this as an attempt to monopolize the security of the city or give one guild disproportionate influence. This would cause all manner of conflict and perhaps a war between various guilds in the city. It's certainly a great start for an idea, and it's one I might use in a future game. I can certainly see that having legs. The last story on there is a town council denying that it's pressing ahead with plans to allow houses to be built on a historic site. Now, although town council planning doesn't tend to be particularly exciting and suddenly wouldn't form the basis of an adventure that I was running myself, I can see that there's potential plot in the idea of a building being built on a historic site. Perhaps the history of the original site isn't as dead as was originally thought. Given the recent RPG blog carnival posts for this month about creating haunted spots, you can see my own written post Rose Corner, I'll put a link down below, which talks about how events in the past can echo forward into the present and how the spectres of events long gone can return to haunt us. I can certainly see this being a plot that could be fitted around some sort of building being built atop the ruins of the old. And indeed, a large part of the fantasy campaign I'm hoping to be running soon is based around the ideas that there are numerous ages of the world, and each following age builds on the rubble of the previous age. So there we go. That's 4 or 5 decent plot ideas that I've got from just skimming through the local newspaper's website over the last 3 or 4 minutes. This video really hasn't been planned. I've not looked at those stories before this, and I've already got 4 or 5 ideas that, with a bit of thought and expansion, could blossom into fully developed plots. And I think that's a great testimony to the wisdom and the truthfulness of what Jessica Pink was saying in her videos. And I'd certainly advise you that if you're stuck for inspiration, you could do far worse than follow her advice. Pick up a copy of your local newspaper or look on their website, since most newspapers have them now, and see what's on there. Even if you don't use the stories as is, it may fire off some interesting ideas, and who knows, may take you down avenues that otherwise you wouldn't have thought of. Thank you very much for watching this video response. I hope if you've enjoyed this and other videos, you'll click on like and subscribe down below to keep up with all the latest updates in the Red Dice Diaries. And please place any comments you may have about this video or local newspapers, or where you get your own inspiration from perhaps. And until I see you on the next video, I look forward to reading what you write.